How's it going, Leo community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So, some key words here is never underestimate the power of rest. Yes, time does go by quicker when we are always on the go, making it easier to endure the hardships that we have faced in life. At the same time, being on the go all the time never gives you time to be able to enjoy everything that you've worked hard for, Leo. Sharing the success of learning how to rest with yourself and your loved ones. Sometimes, Leo, a person who is always on the go because they do not want to sit down with their thoughts. They don't want to have things come up in their mind that they can't stop. So this could be something of working on being able to heal parts of you that are not satisfied with the way things have worked out so far. So something that you're at odds ends with. Well, it's something that you're confused about, I should say. It's something that you're at a distance with, and it has to do with magical power. Believing that things happen, things can happen, things can still go good. I'm hearing believing in miracles, believing that things are okay. Even though some things that we were passionate about didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to. And you know what? There could be something that we're at odds ends with how we did some things when it came to following our intuition in the past. Something else we have here is, what do we say? Healing energy. This is something that you're really blocked off from. This is something that you don't see as an option. Giving yourself permission not to let go of things, but to, in a sense, get over them and allow yourself to release as what is what is. What happened is what happened, and there's nothing we can really do about it kind of energy. Concealment is the things that we have hidden from us. In a sense, things that we try to hide from ourselves, things that we try to put a mask up towards. Maybe we tend to wear a mask that everything is okay when deep down we don't feel like it is, Leo. Something you're confused with, something that you don't want to see is the blessed day. Being able to have blessed days, being able to have days where we are fully balanced out, where it's okay to be copacetic with the world, where it's okay to say, hey, shit just worked out the way it is. You know, I made mistakes in the past, but everybody makes mistakes. There's no such thing as a perfect person. There's no such thing as a perfect parent. There's no such thing as a perfect adolescent. Come on now. There's no such thing as a perfect sibling. So just know that everybody makes mistakes, Leo. And sometimes when we're always racing from one thing to another, just to keep our minds busy, we never actually get to lighten the load that we carry. It just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And sometimes it gets unbearable. And when it gets unbearable, sometimes we reach to certain outlets or coping mechanisms that don't help us heal this energy, but merely help us run from it still. So let's go ahead and go into the present with the ancestors, and spirit guides. What is it that you need to show us about this present for the Leo frequency? So we have a Queen of Swords, something here that you weren't giving options about, especially when it came to following your intuition. Maybe it was certain choices that you had to make that at the moment were for the greater good for your community, for yourself. Let's see. There we are. So we have this Queen of Swords. Definitely Queen of Swords. So there could have been a time where you were more, how do I put this? You were more of like, hey, it's my way or it's the highway kind of thing. This is the way we got to work things out. This is the way I'm going to lead things. This is the way things have to be at this moment. But for some reason, it really messed with partnerships that you've had. It could have been even with your own parents, maybe with people who were your mentors. Maybe it had to mess with your position as the nurturing parent and the family as well. Maybe it has to do with a person who's in a management position and they had a lack of empathy or sympathy towards others kind of thing. And right here, because we're dealing with that, you feel like this is what's robbed you of certain successes, of certain expectations in your present moment. You're slow to give any kind of moments to feel how you actually feel when it comes to you looking back at the different confrontations that you were overcoming with people who could have been kind of overbearing at those times. You know, you had two choices. And the thing is you chose the best choice that you could choose with this Two of Swords. See how this one is choosing the choice that's more balanced? Right here, this is the direction that they want to go. Definitely there's something that they want to hang on to, but the choice that they go towards, again, is they're looking for balance here. So that was something that you were trying to do. Is you were trying to make the best choices where you had balance. But right here with the Sun card in reverse, there's something here that you wish you could have put more leadership towards. You wish you could have expressed more energy towards a certain situation. This situation, it could have had to do with others, seeing that there's these little dragons here. But definitely Four of Cups talks about waiting for things to come in. Maybe you were waiting for something to happen. Maybe you thought things were taken care of whatever this had to do with. But the Four of Cups also is showing me here is you regret not taking more action in your past. That's what I'm getting with this present right now. So maybe this is why now you do so much racing around, is to try and get the most done that you can, because you regret a past where you felt like you didn't do enough. So now we're overcompensating in the present, and that's something that we can do. Honestly, this seems very logical that this is the way that you would interpret something and the way that you would need to make up for certain mistakes. And that's okay. That is okay, because whatever it is where you felt like you weren't giving that 110%, it's definitely lit a fire on you now to always give that 110%. And maybe that's something to see too. Again, you made a choice in your past where you had to look at the most balanced things in between two things, even though there was one choice you really wanted to hold on to. And the thing is you were trying to create a balance of having blessings, blessing the people that you have around you as well. So it wasn't like you were going off and you were just trying to do things on your own, just thinking about yourself. You definitely sat there and you thought about it for a bit. You really tried to look at it from a 5 to 10 year perspective, when you were really thinking about what you were passionate about, which way you wanted to lead your life when it came to, again, 5-10 years from now. Even though you don't feel like you were following your intuition, you were following an inner passion to try and do the most forever, whatever choice that you made. And that's okay. That is totally okay, Leo. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's go ahead and call in our angels of protection. Angels, angels, angels of protection. Please help, guide, and keep us safe as we navigate the block for the Leo. I'm just hearing unsettled, unsatisfied. That's just what I get. There's just something here that you feel like didn't reach the fullness. And as I say fullness, an Eight of Pentacles pops out. There was something here you were working hard on, or you wanted to work hard on. You wanted to put more effort. You wanted to grow a little bit more in that area. All right, what are the last few cards? There they are. Oh, yeah. Okay, so definitely you could have made a choice, you know, when you were making those choices at those times. You got yourself into hot water with a situation that you had followed for a bit. With this situation, you know, it left you juggling between things. These things on how you want to build your stability, who you want to build your stability with either what company or what person kind of energy. And then we have the Hierophant here. The whole thing is you have a trouble. What I see is you have trouble with yourself at this time in your life because of what you were doing at this time in your life. But at the same time, you made certain decisions in that time in life that you wanted to go towards that would be more stable for 5 to 10 years from then. But you always go back to what you were doing back then, and you're just really hard on yourself because you weren't leading your life in a very high spiritual kind of way. You were leading your life, it could have been what I'm seeing, very fast paced, could have been living for the day, for the moment kind of thing. And then you got stuck in a situation where you were following somebody. You followed this backwards relationship, this backwards commitment. And again, you had a situation that was happening, that was unfolding with this, that left you juggling. You felt on one hand, you know, I really want to be here, but on the other hand, you knew it wasn't the place to stay. You knew that if you stood in that spot, it wasn't going to be good for you. It wasn't going to be fair. It could have been something that you would have always been chasing. Definitely lots of illusions here, but even the illusions got very draining at that time, and those illusions started to go into negative illusions. Instead of you being able to dream of big things happening in your future with this past situation, you started to see how it was, what I'm hearing to say was possessing you to do a lot of things you wouldn't do if it wasn't for this situation. I don't know, maybe there could have been acts of, you know, trying to have a vendetta or getting vengeance against somebody because of what they did to us kind of thing. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting here. Is definitely being with whatever this person, place, or thing started altering you in negative ways. And you started to notice that. You started to notice how unfair, how taking this was for you. And here it would be a situation that you would try and grow and grow and grow and grow, but nothing would ever come to fruit. Nothing would ever work because of the way the environment was. Just whatever it was with this person, place, or thing. And I'm just seeing that big word in bold letters, big word in bold letters. It's not really a big word, but it's the size of it right now that I see it's big. It's toxic. It was very, very, very toxic. And you know what? You still try to look at this person, place from a light, but you couldn't have healthy boundaries here. Nor could you securely carry the heavy loads to get you up to where you needed to build. Because this always left you having to stop and go, could be chasing after somebody, going and picking up somebody's messes, always having to be worried about whoever was doing what kind of thing. And then we have sacrifice here with the Chariot. You know, the thing is you wanted to make movements because you wanted to sit here and you didn't want to lose your love for life. You didn't want to lose your love for living. You didn't want to lose your love for wanting to do more. And I feel like you don't see that when it comes down to why you made the choice that you made at that time. And here comes that Queen of Swords again. What it was is you were faced off with two energies. You had an energy who was very dramatic, a very rushing energy, but it had a lot of passions there at the same time. But it wasn't balanced, and you couldn't see eye to eye with this energy. This energy was a lot about themselves. This energy was very corrupting in its own ways because of the things it would do and how that would cause you to want to do other things yourself. Now, you had another energy here who wouldn't put up with it. You had an energy here who, what I'm hearing, held you accountable. And for some reason, that was the energy you felt like would be the most nurturing energy of whatever this is, person, place, and or thing. But the thing is you're still hung up because there's something here when it comes to others that you felt like you were really, really, really unfair with when it comes to the years passing. And even when it came to, say, maybe 10, 15 years ago, whatever it is, that unfairness really, really, really started to stick out to you. Maybe you felt really unfair because of how much you let whoever this other one who didn't put up with shit, how much you let them govern your decisions. That's a lot, Leo. That is a lot in this block. The whole thing is you have these partnerships, but these partnerships were not meeting at an even level. That's the thing. And you've had partnerships of ones that you want to hold on to, but you've had another partnership where you're like, this was the better way to go. I have to make that better investment. That doesn't make you a bad person. Let's be for real, Leo. I mean, what this block is talking about is how you look back at the way everything has unfolded and how it has to do with you and two others, specifically two others that you choose between each one, and it has to do with everything that unraveled from then until now and how it has affected these others in your community. But the thing is you're looking at how all this affected everyone else, but you're not looking at how it affected you. And that's what I'm being told to say right there. And maybe that's something that you run from. You run from having to really go within and fill out how you felt about things, you know? Maybe you learned some other things about this past person, and now that we're here in the now, things that you didn't know was happening back then, now you know what were happening. Maybe that's what brings on a more sense of unfairness, more sense of unfulfillment, more of a sense of feeling like you could have chosen wrong. Maybe if I made this other move, I could have did something more better here or something like that. But the thing is, Leo, you chose what you chose because that was the best at that moment. You couldn't have predicted what happened from then until there. And if you're upset because you ignored signs, if you're upset because you felt like you didn't step up enough, if you're upset because you felt like you didn't get enough time or you weren't able to do enough, you know, you still have the moment of now to do stuff. You still have the moment of now to enjoy the company with the ones that you do have around you. And that is a blessing, because not every day is given. Not every day is given. And if you go back and you keep reflecting on all your mistakes, everything that you wish you could have done, then you're robbing yourself of the present moment and being able to be really immersed into your community with the ones that you do have around you. That's the thing. That's how you can turn the Six of Pentacles up in a more fair thing. It's okay, Leo. It's honestly, it's okay. It is okay. And being able to sit with these others, I'm not even saying you have to sit by yourself, but I mean, make time to sit with these others. Make time to do activities with these others that doesn't require you doesn't require you racing off from moment to moment to moment to keep your mind busy. What you can do is take in and appreciate the outcome of the choice you did make. Well, what happens if I only want to reflect on all the choices that I felt like I did wrong? Well, again, you're going to be upset with yourself. But if you could really go back in time and just look at yourself, not wanting to be like, hey, shaking yourself, you need to do this instead. No, look at what you were trying to do. Yes, you had one choice you really wanted, but that choice you really wanted was taking you down. And if you would have went with that choice, do you really think it would have worked out any different than what it was working out? That's something you have to ask yourself. And I like to tell people, whatever that choice was, go ahead and look at it now in the present moment. If it's a business, is it still in business? If it's still in business, how's it doing? Is it actually making any revenue? If it's not still in business, how long did it take it for it to go out of business? If it was with a certain person, how is that person doing now? And if that person is still doing the same in the now that they were doing back in the past, again, you made the best choice you could for yourself. It could feel greedy at times to do that, but if you didn't make that choice, well, then you would be in not the greatest position now. You wouldn't have what you have now. And you have to think about that. You worked hard for that choice that you did make. And every day after that, you gave that 110, 110, 110, 110. And that's okay. That is okay. You know, sometimes we look back in the past and we want to say, well, I wish I would have did something different if I would have known. But the thing is, you didn't know. and you were doing the best you could. Thank goodness you never gave up, because you did build. You built some success, and it's okay to give yourself permission to see that success. It's okay. All right, so let's get out of the block. Universal and divine energy. What is it? What is it that you want to reconfirm through the white light oracle? What I'm hearing to say is you have this chip on your shoulder about it. And this chip on your shoulder is something that you allow to take your happiness away. And the thing is the divine doesn't want to punish you every day that you wake up for past mistakes. The divine wants you to learn from those past mistakes and evolve, grow, become a better person, not just towards the world, but towards yourself. And a lot of times that comes at the expense of forgiving ourselves for not knowing, forgiving ourselves for not doing this, forgiving ourselves for not being in a certain spot at a certain time, forgiving ourselves for not being able to prevent the inevitable. Because we're only human. Just know that we are human. All right, so the first card that I had seen pop out is 33 Yishi Tos Gil? And then we have Yogini of 285 hertz. And then the last one is 528 hertz, Mandala of the Heart. Let's see, I can show that one this way. So we have the numbers 333 here. Let's read about that real quick. Keep faith. Seek guidance from your guides. Talk to them. Talk to your ancestors. Talk to them. They're right there. They're listening. They see you. They hear you. They hear everything that you don't say as well, I'm hearing to tell you. They know how you feel. They know you so well. So we'll start off with number 14 first. 14. Yogini of 285 hertz. Changes in your life, including closing doors or missed opportunities, are not going to derail your fulfillment. Realignments are happening based on divine wisdom and timing. You are being diverted from unnecessary obstacles and suffering. Trust in how your life path is unfolding. Stay true to your authentic healing journey because it is working, whether you realize that or not. Significant inner healing is taking place. Again, you have to allow that. You have to open up to that. And you know what? The fact that you're reflecting on stuff, and you can reflect on it from a more sovereign kind of view, says that you have been growing and you have been evolving. You just have to learn not to be critical of your past self. All right, so 17, 528 hertz, Mandala of the Heart. Oh man, this is already starting off nice. Hold on. Sometimes these get to me. I'm not gonna lie, I've been holding back the tears for a little bit. Sometimes aspects of our life fall apart or don't go to plan. This is so they can come back together in a beautiful new way. Trust in the goodness in the inevitable blessings of your destiny falling into place. Don't trust your fears. Put your faith and love of your heart. A heart-filled wish is going to manifest. What is that? Garth Brooks song. I like that. Unanswered Prayers. Really, really, really beautiful song. Talks about how we once pray for certain things, and then so many years later, decades later, when it didn't work out, we were faced with those things that we were praying for, and we then start to appreciate how it didn't work out, even though once upon a time ago we wanted it to. So just know that things happen. Sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes it's hard to sift through the feelings about everything. But if you give yourself permission not to be hard on yourself, to support yourself, to validate how those things make you feel, then you can start to heal from them, and you can start to let that stuff go so that you're not holding on to it with bitterness. All right, our last card, 33, Yishi Toskil, 333. You shall overcome all obstacles. Success is imminent, so stay connected to your path no matter what, and continue to apply yourself. Allow your spiritual path to support you in all areas of your life. Live by your spiritual beliefs. Seek out support of your spiritual brothers and sisters for help when needed, but also trust that you are intimately and directly connected to the powerful divine light within. There can be a dramatic healing breakthrough when you rely upon your spiritual connection. So remember, at one time, when you had to make certain decisions because you were leading in your life in not the best spiritual way. Just remember that now you're leading your life in a different way. Put more trust into that higher vibration that you wanted to go towards, and getting yourself out of those lower vibrations of where you once were when it comes down to you personally. All right, Leo, this is gonna conclude it. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.